Hello everyone. Today I will tell you an horror story. Chapter 1. A Killer Coincidence? The Mary Morris murders in the 1984 science fiction classic The Terminator. A murderous cyborg from the future played by Arnold Schwarzenegger hunted women in Los Angeles named Sarah Connor in order to stop a woman with that same name from giving birth to a man who would kill the cyborg's masters in the future. The plot was totally outlandish and not meant to portray or emulate any real event or situation, but a pair of murders in Houston, Texas in 2000 shocked area residents, and to sci-fi fans it appeared to be a case of reality imitating art. In the span of less than 1 week, 2 women both named Mary Morris were murdered in eerily similar ways in Houston. Once the local media made the connections between the 2 women's names, then other connections were quickly made. The 2 women looked alike. The manner of their murders was similar, and their bodies were discovered in similar locations. With that many similarities, most people were convinced that the murders were somehow connected. Was a serial killer using the Terminator as an inspiration for his sick homicidal fantasies? The residents of Houston were on edge in the late months of 2000. Anyone could be the killer, and any woman named Mary Morris could be the next victim. Mary Henderson Morris was a 48-year-old wife and mother who worked hard as a loan officer at Chase Bank in Houston. She and her husband had built a good life for themselves and lived in the reasonably affluent Houston neighborhood of Spring Valley. They were hard-working, successful people who were well liked by the neighbors, friends, and family. By all accounts, the couple had a good relationship and neither was involved in drugs or criminal activity, which makes this part of the case the most puzzling. The morning of October 12, 2000, began as any other in the Morris household. Mary woke up first, got ready for work, and left the house about 6 am. But Mary never made it to work. Mary's husband of 5 years, Jay, usually spoke with her several times during the day on the phone. So he began to worry when the afternoon came and he had yet to hear from his wife, Mary's daughter from a previous marriage, Marilyn Blalock. And Jay filed a missing person report early that evening about the same time a burned car was discovered in a vacant field. A call was made to the Harris County Sheriff's Department at about 10 am that morning about what was believed to be burning debris or leaves. Later in the day, police arrived at the wooded area to find that it was not debris or leaves that were burning, but an automobile. After the fire was put out, the sheriff's department determined that a charred female body was inside. It was the body of Mary Henderson Morris. The fire made it impossible for coroners to determine the method of death, although it was quickly ruled a homicide. A search revealed that Morris' purse and wedding ring were missing, which suggested robbery. But too many questions remained. If it were a robbery, why was her car not taken? Why would a robber, or robbers, go to such lengths to conceal part of their crime? The crime was obviously not a carjacking because the car was burned. Even if it were an attempted carjacking gone bad, there would have been no reason to take the car and its owner to a remote location, kill the owner, and then burn the car. And why was the car dumped and burned in a vacant lot? The more investigators looked at the case, the less it made sense. There were also no witnesses to her abduction or murder. Due to the circumstances, authorities quickly determined that this was no ordinary murder case. But little did they know how extraordinary the case would become. Just 4 days later, After the Morris family put Mary to rest on October 16, Blaylock made the painful, yet seemingly simple journey to the coroner's office to retrieve some of her mother's personal effects. Instead, she walked into an episode from The Twilight Zone. They told me they still had Mary Morris' body, recalled Blaylock. I was freaking out. I was thinking we just had the funeral. I saw the remains. And I was looking at something that wasn't even my mother. It turns out that the woman Marilyn Blaylock saw on the coroner's table was not her mother, but was in fact another woman named Mary Morris, Mary McGuinness Morris.